Hi, my name is Irene Ziegler. I'm a program director in the Division of International Education here at UNO, and I would like to tell you today about an exciting new opportunity for the UNO community, the Global Competence Certificate. Let me share my screen with you so I can share my presentation that I have prepared. All right. Students and participants who take this Global Competence Certificate will reflect on their own and others' culture in local and global contexts. They will learn to collaborate effectively across differences and develop essential lifelong power skills. Let's start with a definition. What is global competence? It consists of skills, knowledge, values, and attitudes. People who possess global competence know how to examine local, global, and intercultural issues. They understand and appreciate the perspectives and worldviews of others. They tend to engage in open, appropriate, and effective interactions across cultures. And they're more likely to take action for the collective well-being and sustainable development. This definition is from the PISA 2018 Global Competence Study. PISA stands for Program for International Student Assessment, which is an international study that provides comparative data on 15-year-olds' performance in reading, math, science, and other what they call innovative domains. And in 2018, such an innovative domain was global competence. The study is conducted by the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, an intergovernmental economic organization of 37 member states, including the US. However, the US did not participate in the Global Competence Study. Why is global competence important? I would like to share with you this brief video by the director of the PISA study, Andreas Schleicher, which I think summarizes very well why we need global competence.
We live in an interconnected world.
Kita hidup di dunia yang saling berhubungan.
Nosotros vivimos en un mundo interconectado.
우리는 서로 연결된 사회에 살고 있어요.
Vivimos en un mundo interconectado.
Nous vivons dans un monde interconnecté.
These days, education is no longer just about teaching people something, but about helping them develop a reliable compass and the tools to navigate with confidence through a world that is increasingly complex, increasingly volatile, increasingly uncertain. Success in education is about identity. It's about agency. It's about purpose. It's about building curiosity, opening minds. It's about compassion, opening hearts. And it's about courage, mobilizing our cognitive, social, and emotional resources to take action.
Right now we have a lot of issues and we are acknowledging a lot of problems like global pandemic,
the climate crisis and climate change,
Racial discrimination,
The climate crisis.
You know, the more interdependent the world becomes, the more we rely on great collaborators and orchestrators, people who can think for themselves, but also who are able to join others and other cultures in work and life and citizenship.
with the rise of like social media, and you're exposed to different cultures and different issues worldwide, and you see that other countries are also suffering from the same issues.
I feel that it's really important that we feel that, okay, we might be different, we might speak different languages and have different cultures, but in the end, we can all connect to each other.
we need to come to like conclusive ideas and we need to work together. And having a generation of students who are more interconnected is going to be the most efficient way we can do that.
In 2018, the OECD Program for International Student Assessment, or PISA, conducted the first assessment of students' capacity to live in an interconnected world. To do well on this assessment, PISA expects that students can combine knowledge about the world with critical reasoning. If you drink a cup of coffee here in Paris, can you see the connections with workers on a coffee plantation at the other end of the world? Second, PISA looks at whether students understand and appreciate the perspectives and worldviews of others. And third, PISA looks at whether students can adapt their behavior and communication to interact with individuals from different traditions, different cultures.
I just hope we build a better world where everybody can thrive and where nobody is left behind.
I hope in 20 years that we'll have a more globally competent and a more understanding generation.
My generation is acknowledging the problems. It's not just looking to the other way. They are acknowledging, and now we have to keep walking, make a step, a big step, and start to help the community, start to help the world, start to have solutions for every problem that we have right now.
So let's join forces to better support globally competent students. And with that I mean students who will engage to improve the living conditions in their own communities and build a more just, more peaceful, more inclusive, and more sustainable world.
Okay, so now that we know why it is important to have global competence, let's look into how can we get it, how can we gain it. The PISA study has found that successful education systems in this respect, in preparing their students to live in an interconnected world, have done these 5 things. They are based on curricula that value openness to the world. They provide a positive and inclusive learning environment. They offer opportunities to relate to people from other cultures in and outside of the classroom, including through international exchanges and virtual programs. But note here, this is not exclusive to travel and international experiences. It can also be done in other ways. These systems have incorporated participatory learning activities based on real-world happenings. And very importantly, they have teachers who are prepared to facilitate global competence and to reflect on appreciation for others in their day-to-day interactions with students. Another finding from the study, as this quote from the director, Andreas Schleicher, who you just heard from in the video, said, global competence can be taught, not just caught. Often when we travel, we happen upon things and we learn from things when we get lost or things don't happen the way we anticipated. And that's what he means by catching global competence. But we can actually plan to teach it to students through this Global Competence Certificate is one way. And other exciting and encouraging perspective is that culture is all around us, even within our own communities or local contexts. Learning how to collaborate effectively across differences requires no travel. So a little bit more about the Global Competence Certificate. Who provides it? It's this organization called AFS Intercultural Programs, which actually began as the American Ambulance Field Service, AFS, a volunteer ambulance corps created in 1915 during World War I. It then transformed from a wartime humanitarian aid organization into an international secondary school exchange, volunteer, and intercultural learning organization. And in its decades of experience, it really has gained a standing in the international community, in the educational community, and is very well respected. The AFS Global Competence Certificate, or GCC, is a blended learning program that develops tangible global skills essential to live, work, and make a real social impact around the world. How is the GCC structured and what versions are there? So the version that we hope to introduce first to the UNO community is called GCC at Home. The version that requires no travel and can be taken by any student in the US or anywhere in the world, really. It has 3 parts. The first one looking inward, learning about yourself, self-awareness. The second one is looking outward, learning about others and how to deal with others and deal with conflict and communication styles and things like that. And the third part is looking forward, skills and how to take action. Other versions of the GCC is GCC Abroad, which is very specific to prepare students for their study abroad experience. GCC at Work, which is a professional development tool, and GCC Teen, which is for high school students. Global Competence Certificate at UNO. So the first course we hope to offer will be in January of 2021 during the winter term session. UNO students can learn with a cohort of other students and a qualified GCC facilitator. They will develop essential lifelong power skills, formerly known as soft skills. We've been talking about this in the study abroad and international education field for so long that that's what you gain through travel and international experience, soft skills, but that's really a misnomer. They are power skills and they're more and more sought after in today's workforce. Students will combine individual online learning sessions, asynchronous, with synchronous facilitated group dialogue sessions. At first, we will offer these by Zoom, but hopefully sometime soon we can also offer those in person. Students will spend approximately 20 to 25 hours total time commitment to gain this certificate and to gain tangible global competence skills such as collaboration, critical thinking, problem solving, cross-cultural communication, open-mindedness, and flexibility. Learners who take the GCC become more self-aware through self-reflection by learning about their own cultural group and learning how to analyze power relations, privilege, and inequality. They also increase awareness of others by suspending judgment, being flexible in different cultural contexts, by learning how to apply strategies to deal with ambiguous situations, managing their own cultural biases and emotional triggers, and knowing their personal limits and being open to seek support. They also learn how to manage their emotional response by initiating and developing relationships with people from different cultures and communicating and interacting effectively and appropriately in different cultural contexts. And finally, they learn how to bridge across difference, recognize and understand patterns of behavior and values of people from different cultural contexts, and they learn how to empathize with people from different cultures. So what are the next steps? Any interested students at UNO can apply to take the first class in January of 2021. There is a registration fee of $95, but we have secured some funding through the support from the Division of International Education, the Office of Academic Affairs, in particular the Quality Enhancement Program. Our QEP here at UNO is global engagement, and so that fits very well. The Departments of History and International Studies, and the Office for Experiential Learning and Community Engagement. If any students are interested in taking this, please email me at iziegler@uno.edu so I can send you more information and the link to apply. Any faculty and staff or greater UNO community member that is interested. I think there are many applications of this certificate. It is very adjustable and customizable. Maybe some of you might also want to get trained to be a qualified facilitator through AFS. The cost is $125 plus the registration fee. And the time commitment for the training is, I would say, approximately a week and a half to 2 weeks. It takes a Zoom session, working through one of the modules, and that reflection. As you think about this, do you have any funding sources for students so that we can provide this free of charge for UNO students? Any grants or sponsorships? Should UNO consider this on a larger scale, maybe incorporate it into the UNIV classes, offer it to student organizations as professional development for faculty or staff? Again, any ideas are welcome, any feedback, please feel free to email me. And I'd like to leave you with this quote from poet Audre Lorde. "It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." And I think the Global Competence Certificate is one step towards that and being better at recognizing and celebrating our differences. Thank you so much.